Good afternoon, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. Oh my goodness, guys, I am so cold. I am ready to go and take a shower and get to bed. It was cold today. I think it's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow, but it is supposed to frost overnight. And so we got our radishes, guys, are already starting to come up, which is crazy because we planted them like earlier in the week, and like they're already little like sprouts, and I was like, oh my gosh, these are so cute. So we ended up covering them with some newspaper, and then our big thing of broccoli that's coming up, and also our potatoes we also covered with like buckets, just like to hopefully try and save them, and like I said, hopefully they will be okay. But like everything else so far hasn't started yet, but we still had some stuff like covered with newspaper. And the spinach, I'm gonna assume, is fine because that spinach has been growing since it was, I think, pretty much still snowing out. So it came back over the winter. I am sure that one frost, which is, I think it's supposed to maybe frost a few days though this week, or like this weekend into like next week, the beginning of next week, will again be most likely kind of cold, and it might frost, but we will, like I said, we can cover those things back over that need to. But I saw outside, I was like, oh my gosh, look at these little things that are coming up. There's little radishes, and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cool. And then not radishes, turnips, that's what's coming up. And because we did most of our like root vegetables, we planted those, I was like, oh my gosh, these are so stinking cute. They're like so tiny. And then I was like, you know what, it's so cool that we're having turnips come up. I'm not sure what to do with turnips, because my mom likes beets. She really likes to eat beets, and she also, like, radishes we can use for like salads and stuff like that, you know, but like turnips, not totally sure. I've used parsnips before. I think it was like a vegetarian pot pie that actually called for, I think, leeks and parsnips or something like that, or maybe the parsnips were for a different recipe. But they were actually, like, we got some at Valley Produce, and I thought they tasted pretty good, kind of like potato-y, and I think that's sort of like turnips are sort of the same thing. But like I said, my mom might have like cooked with them and stuff like that before, but we've definitely never grown them, so it'll be interesting. And like I said, that those are the first things that look like they're, I mean, other than the stuff that's already growing, but the seeds that we planted are the first things that's coming up. I was like, oh my gosh, these little things are so cute. So yeah, those are coming up, guys, which is really cool. But like I said, we had to go out there and cover all that stuff today because it is been cold today. It's supposed to frost overnight tonight, and like I said, maybe a couple more times. But by March, or I'm sorry, it is not March, it is May, guys. March is like before we went into lockdown. Back in, by May, the end of May, I think that's when we're not supposed to have our, what's it called, our, we're not supposed to get any more frost. Most likely by like May 31st. Most likely by the end of May, like I think June 1st is officially safe to plant anything else because we should not get any more. But like this, like we might randomly get like a frost. So that's why we obviously already have stuff that came back from last year that's growing. But we did have some seeds that we planted, which were, for the most part though, most of that stuff is like pretty safe. But again, just covered most of that over with newspaper. So we did that, and then we also staked it down so that the newspaper will not blow away. My dad's gonna go out there first thing in the morning when he wakes up and take everything off of there, so obviously everything still gets sunlight and warms up and everything. But again, just to preserve those things that they don't get, you know, like I said, frosted over on and then end up not making it. So yeah, that's what we did for today. But I did not sleep very well. I went to bed late last night, so it is actually, I think, just 10:30 right now. I'm gonna go get in the shower and get to bed. It wasn't that I didn't sleep well. I stayed up a little too late last night because I was using my computer, and I got my computer when I graduated high school in 14, so I've had it for 6 years, and it's awesome. It still works, there's no problems. You know, it's only a 6-year-old computer, which for some people I guess is kind of old. My Mac, I think, is 4 years old. But again, my computer, it's like, you know, really only use it maybe for kind of gaming. That's sort of it. And like, I don't know, sometimes like web browsing and stuff like that, but my Mac I normally use for like my editing and all that kind of stuff. So I was having a problem, and it was with my mouse yesterday, with this mouse, and it's the one that still originally came with the computer, and I have admittedly dropped it a couple of times. It's a wired mouse, but I have dropped it a couple times more. What happens is that I will get my foot tangled up in the cord and pull it off of there sometimes, or something else underneath my desk and pull it off, because I use like the keyboard, you know, pad sort of thing that slides out, like that little drawer. So like I said, I had the mouse on there, and I will say I've dropped it probably a couple times. And so it was like not working. It kept like double clicking, and sometimes too when I was clicking and dragging it would right click. So it was really frustrating me. And like I said, I was trying to figure out if it was actually my mouse or not, or if it was just what I was doing, like what I was using yesterday. And I figured out that it most likely ended up actually being my mouse. So my dad has a laptop, and again, he doesn't need to use a mouse for his laptop. So I was like, can I just borrow this until I ordered a new one, which is actually, I was trying to look for, I was actually just going to literally replace this exact same one that I have that was $8 on Amazon, and I was like, I'll just replace that because why not? And I saw a deal though on a gaming mouse that was I think normally $50, and it was on sale for $30, and I was like, for $20 more I can get something that will hopefully last a while, because my only thing I don't like about it is that it is way too light. Like, I feel like it just, like, I don't know, the cord too, like, is just like, it gets tangled up in things, and like, it's just, is like way too light. Like, I feel like there's no like substance behind the mouse. When I go to like use it, like it's gonna fall all over the place, or like slide right off my mouse pad and stuff like that. The one that my dad is letting me borrow feels a lot sturdier, like kind of heavier. This one, like I said, a gust of wind I feel like will blow it away. And so using my dad's though right now is actually working awesome, but obviously I don't want to, like, I want to just replace the one that I have and replace it with a new one instead of just keeping his, because although he doesn't always use it with his computer, when he does have his laptop set up upstairs, sometimes he will use his mouse. So yeah, like I said, figured that out, ended up actually ordering that for today. But in the process, I was like, oh yeah, you know what I got that I completely sort of forgot about was that I got my Magic Mouse 2 for my MacBook. And I was trying to figure out all night last night, guys. I was like, why is this thing not working? And I did everything that the instructions and the little manual said to do. Even like I looked it up on my Mac, was trying to figure out, like, you know, there's step-by-step like how to do this and stuff like that, and I couldn't figure it out. I was like, what is going on? It would say connected, and then as soon as I'd unplug it from like the lightning cable or whatever it's called, you know, the USB, I'd unplug it, it'd say disconnected, and I was like, why is it not connected? My Wi-Fi is on, the mouse is turned on, like what is going on? Why is it not working? I realized that what I have to do is actually, I don't know how to do it in the actual settings that I was in, but I don't normally have like the little Bluetooth icon up at like the top bar. So I was like, okay, put it on there, because I don't know, I was just clicking on things hoping something would work. And so then I turned that on, and then actually looked in like one of the more like advanced like help things, and they were like, oh, once like you can just click on that and then click connect. And I did that and it worked, and I was like, I feel so stupid that I spent almost an hour last night trying to figure out how to get it to work. And then I was trying to figure out too, because I was like, oh well, maybe it's like almost dead, you know, like maybe the battery was drained because it's cold in my room and it's been sitting here. Like, I got it for Christmas and it's been sitting in my room for a really long time. And I was like, normally, like, you know, when you get them, they're not always fully charged, but they're normally like have some juice in them and stuff like that. So I was like, okay, this doesn't make sense. And like, you know, I was like, well, maybe it's dead. And I was trying to figure out how to check the battery, and I couldn't figure that out, and so it was just taking me forever. And like I said, I figured it out and was able to use it today. But it's weird though too, I keep going back to like the touchpad instead of using the mouse. And the other thing too is that that I don't have an extra mouse pad for it, so I need to get one, which is helpful when I'm actually sitting at my desk. But if I like bring my Mac into like a different room or something like that, where I'm using my like lap desk, I probably won't use the mouse. But the one my mom has is really cool because it actually has a mouse pad built into like the lap desk. So I was thinking about like maybe getting one of those too, because that would be really awesome, and I could, like I said, get like, I don't know, I just really love having like the mouse, because it actually, though, it feels, seriously, this feels heavier than the Dell, like I said, the Dell mouse that came with my computer, which, I don't know, some people maybe like their mouses a lot lighter, but me, I like to have like some substance, some meat, make it feel like it's actually heavy, instead of just, like I said, like I, you know, touch it sometimes. And that's the thing, is sometimes I go to grab the mouse and I push it off of the thing just because of how like light it is. Like I'll hit it or something like that and it just falls off my desk, because like I said, there's no like, you know, like substance or anything like that to it, and it's so stinking light. So I'm hoping that this one is at least a little bit heavier than the one I ordered. I know it did have like weight, you know, measurements and all that kind of stuff in there, and I didn't check that, but I don't know how much mine weighs. It can't be more than a feather. So yeah, like I said, I've had it for 6 years, and I don't know, my other mouse too that I had with my old computer, I tried to plug it in and it wasn't a USB, so I couldn't use it. So I was like, okay, well, let's find this out. And I figured out my dad's was working with my computer, so I know it was the mouse's problem and not my computer's problem, because that's what I was thinking it was for a while, and I was like, what is going on? But yeah, my dad's too, it has a really sticky, like what's it called, like the scroller, you know, thing. It's super, like, not sticky, but it's really hard to move, and so I was getting really frustrated too trying to do that today, like scrolling and stuff like that. It's not very like easy like mine is. So like I said, getting that, and finally got this thing set up today, well, last night, but I stayed up really late, so that's why I want to go to bed early tonight. I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.